Hi, my name is Paul Hill. I'm a qualified surgical assistant with the UK Hair Transplant Clinics. The purpose of this short video is to explain why it is important to have a hair loss assessment. Before we start, let me share my before transplant picture. I needed around 6,000 plus follicles, but because my donor area was not good quality, I could only achieve 1,700. But even with this partial treatment, it changed my life. Having spoken to thousands of happy patients, you realise it's not the way you look, but it's the way you feel that is important. If you're concerned about hair loss, you're not alone. In a recent survey, 80% of men said they were worried about hair loss. Today's modern scientific treatments can stop future hair loss and replace lost hair. Today's advanced surgical hair transplants offer you a completely natural look that lasts forever. The procedure has little or no discomfort and requires just one visit. The results are amazing. See this patient, he's just 6 months after the treatment. He had around 2,000 follicles. So, what should you do? There are lots of treatments, shampoos, etc. advertised that promise the world, but do they really work? A few do, but the majority have no or little improvement. The answer is to have a hair loss assessment, where we can establish if we need to revitalise or replace lost follicles. This can only be done by undertaking detailed diagnostic examinations of the concerning area under a specialist microscope. For 15% of patients, they can achieve their look with non-surgical clinically proven treatments that cost from as little as 70p per day. With these patients, whilst an area may appear bald, under a microscope, we see very fine hairs that are not visible with the human eye. We call these microscopic hairs, which can be made thicker. With these patients, we can't perform a hair transplant as there is no space as the follicles have not died. The type of treatment depends on the severity of the miniaturization. If it's in its early stages of mild thinning, minoxidil may be required, or if advanced thinning, prescribed medicine may also work. A lot of people I see are on hair loss shampoos, but these have very little or no effect depending on the degree of thinning. However, as a very famous supermarket says, every little counts. If after performing the test we recommend a hair transplant, you need to know: 1. Are you suitable? 2. How much will it cost? These answers can only be given after a full hair loss assessment at a consultation. So, am I suitable? Only after performing further microscopic diagnostic tests on the donor area can we answer this. The results take two forms. 1. Technically suitable, i.e. are the follicles strong enough to survive the trauma of the transplant process? We found that 1 in 10 are not. 2. Do you have enough follicles? This depends on the severity of the hair loss, but generally the answer is yes. So the next important question is: how much will it cost? This is simple. It depends on the number of follicles you require and the type of treatment you choose. Prices start from 2,500 to 6,900. To calculate the number of follicles, we have to create a digital treatment plan that involves scanning your scalp to calculate the dimensions of the proposed treatable area. I often see patients who have had consultations elsewhere and have been told that they need a completely different number of follicles. How can the numbers differ between clinics? Easy. When I've asked how they came up with a number, they said they just looked, therefore guessing. If we guess, there are generally 3 outcomes. 1. They guess too low, which means the hair density is too thin and you'll still look very thin and unhappy. Number 2, they guess too high. Not only does this mean you're paying for follicles that you don't need, but if you try to implant more follicles into a small area, you'll get a higher rejection rate. 3, they guess right. So 1 in 3 chance of success is not good enough for us. So if you're concerned about hair loss, there's only one thing you need to do, and that is attend a free hair loss assessment at one of our clinics. We have over 20 clinic locations across the UK, and 90% of people live within a 1-hour drive of our clinics. Simply complete your confidential details below and one of our clinical team will call you back with a convenient date and time for your appointment. Thank you for watching this short video.